Hello there, my name is Yorkie and welcome to the channel for our very first piece of Assetto Corsa Competizione GT4 DLC content. And we're going to be doing a 10-minute race around Laguna Seca against the AI driving the Ginetta G55 GT4 car. Almost forgot the model there. This is the setup that I'm going to be using, basically just the baseline aggressive preset, although we'll lower the fuel and also the front and rear brake type. But we'll be jumping straight on in here and getting underway. Now the AI is set to 94% in their strength and around about 80% in terms of their aggression. So we'll see how these GT4 cars handle around this track and what the race engineer just said there is very, very key with these GT4 cars, because they do not come with heated tyres. There's no tyre blanket, so the tyres start off stone cold, well under pressure, as you can see from the HUD element down the bottom right there. Likewise with the brakes as well. So the first couple of laps are going to be a little bit more sketchy than what you'll be used to in the GT3 cars. Obviously, once things are up to temperature and we're in the optimal performance window, we'll get a much better idea in terms of the overall performance of these cars and what their handling characteristics are actually like. Just coming to the end of the formation lap.
Green light. Go, go, go.
There's the green light. So usually it's there at the final corner. At least seem to be a little bit late there. Number of cars, oh my god, braking really, really early. So we'll slip down the inside of an awful lot of them.
There's a car exiting pit lane.
Is there? Okay. Either way, that car exiting pit lane shouldn't trouble us. See what we can do with the cars in front. So pit the Ginetta, mainly because of a bit of an affinity towards Ginetta in real life, and thought that would be quite a good car to drive and get an idea of for a first time out, and giving this content pack a go. And obviously Laguna Seca, a car that will suit the Ginetta quite well. It's good through the corners, it's good on the brakes, quite good under acceleration as we nip up the inside of the KTM there. However, it's not the best in terms of straight line speed in comparison to some of the other GT4 cars that are here, such as that BMW that we see there in front of us. There's also a Mercedes AMG GT4 car up there as well. And then just beyond that, I think, yep, is the Chevrolet Camaro, which I imagine is probably the best car in a straight line in this GT4 pack. But all the cars are balanced to basically be relatively equal over the course of an hour's long race. So in real life, these cars don't change tyres in the pit stop. The races last an hour long. It's an hour long sprint race. They do a driver change midway through, or part the way through, whenever they fancy swapping between the drivers. But yeah, they don't change tyres. So some cars, such as this one, which is going to be lighter, a little bit more nimble, is going to be a lot kinder on its tyres in comparison to, say, the big heavy Chevrolet Camaro. And therefore, although it may not have the overall pace over the course of a single lap, over the course of an hour-long race, it'll look after the tyres a lot better, and obviously it will come into its own little element towards the end of the race when the other cars have absolutely killed and murdered their tyres.
Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Just about managing to get the car slowed down there, gain an extra couple of positions. So yeah, the dynamic of the GT4 racing is going to be very, very interesting. Different cars are going to be strong at different tracks. And yeah, taking that into consideration as to picking your car and how long the race is going to be quite a fundamental characteristic. Will probably quite heavily dictate as to which cars you go for. I imagine some are a bit more of a jack of all trades. I haven't actually tried any of the other cars out as of yet. This is the first real time that I'm giving one of these cars a go, and this is the only car that I've driven so far. I imagine this Ginetta is going to be one of those that kind of performs fairly well across the board, apart from top speed department. Three very different examples here. Obviously, we've got a Mercedes AMG GT4, sorry, GT3, Camaro, and then just in front of that is the Aston Martin V8 Vantage as well, which is probably going to be a very nicely well-rounded car. And then up in front of all three of these cars, shall I say, is the Alpine A110 GT4. Probably has some. Ooh, that was a little bit sketchy. The car just kind of broke away from me there, and wasn't really paying too much attention when it happened. So I wasn't quite on top of the slide. But that's one of the things that I have noticed driving these GT4 cars, especially in comparison to the GT3's, is the slides are a lot more progressive. They're not quite as snappy. Obviously, the GT4's don't have the downforce that the GT3 cars have. They're a lot more reliant on mechanical grip. Tires are also a lot skinnier, so slides are going to be much more progressive and a lot slower, probably a little bit easier to catch. Obviously, not going to be as quick through the corners or as quick on the straights, therefore everything's a little bit slower, which gives you a little bit more time to prepare and read the situation unfolding in front of you. So all in all, this should make a bit more of a friendlier experience in comparison to the GT3 cars, providing you obviously, when coming from the GT3s down to the GT4s, take into consideration the differences between the cars, and you're not absolutely chucking the car in and expecting it to stick because of the downforce. I kind of was there with the Camaro on the outside. Fortunately, the AI was smart enough to read that I was there on the inside and give me plenty of room. Very kind of him, although I imagine he'll probably end up absolutely blitzing me here on this straight, so I need to keep an eye out for him in that rear view mirror.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
I think he's starting to close, but I don't think the straight's actually long enough for Camaro to really make use of its of all the power in that engine. It's a 6-litre V8, and up in front in that Alpine, for example, is I believe a 1.6-litre V4, either a V4 or V6. Either way, the Camaro has heavily been restricted. The Alpine has been heavily tuned to produce a lot more power than the original road version of the GT4 car. So it is a very diverse and dynamic range of cars with all sorts of different philosophies and approaches. It really does make quite a unique aspect to racing these GT4 cars.
Car on the right.
Favourite place for overtaking, coming into the corkscrew. Seems the AI come back at us a little bit. Whoa, whoa!
Clear on the right.
Big stroke, big slide. That's
Got some light damage on the front.
hard into the wall. That's not good. We shall pretend that never happened. Ginetta, if you're watching this video, I'm not driving a Ginetta. I apologise. Yeah, the car was just sliding there whilst I was looking over. But hey ho, less than 2 minutes left in the race. We'll carry on until the end anyway. But I do have to say, quite fun and enjoyable driving these cars. when you're driving them yourself, pay attention a little bit more than I am here. Mainly on power that the slide is coming in, but as I've been saying, it's nice and smooth and progressive. So if you're not looking out the side window of the car, you should be able to read it quite nicely and catch it before it gets a little bit too leery. And there again. I mean, in a GT3 car I probably would have snapped in the opposite direction with how edgy those cars can be, especially in the slide. There's just a little bit more buffer at the I guess at the limit of grip, and when you step over the mark there's a little bit more room to play around with the car.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Down the inside of the Mercedes. See if we can get the Camaro
Well done,
and the
mate.
Aston by the end of that. Nice smooth flowing lines through these corners. Car remaining quite nicely planted. So far in this lap anyway. I was wanting to wander a little bit there through the through that long left-hander. Getting hold on the accelerator coming out through the kink. Should be able to get a couple of cars here, I imagine, on the braking. See if we get the Alpine 2. We do indeed. 3 cars in one braking zone. I think it's mainly the AI. I wouldn't be able to do that on another player. Might be able to pick up 1 position, but probably not 3.
The leader has finished the race.
Here we go, coming into the last corner for the last time. Quite enjoying driving these GT4 cars, and definitely looking forward to trying out the others as well. So keep an eye out on the channel. There'll be more videos coming in the future on these GT4 cars.
Bring it back to the pits.
Hopefully we can establish a little bit of a favourite from the class. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've got any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and that way you won't miss out on any future content here on this GT4 pack for ACC. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, have fun, stay safe, and take care.